Hey fight fans, welcome back to the Fight Book. This is the Indian accent guy back with some interesting and massive fight updates. Today we have updates from Belal Muhammad versus Shavkat Rahmanov in October, Abu Dhabi, Leon Edwards versus Michael Morales, Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall, Nate Diaz UFC return, Merab Dvalishvili's injury just 2 weeks ahead of his rematch with O'Malley, and then 5 official fight announcements from the UFC. So to stay updated, watch this video completely. Let's start it from Belal Muhammad versus Shavkat Rahmanov, the most interesting news in this video. John Anik says on his channel that Belal Muhammad versus Shavkat Rahmanov is happening in October at UFC Abu Dhabi.
Belal versus Shavkat in October. There's your breaking news.
And after that, MMA reporters are sharing that clip and announcing that this fight is official for UFC 321, but that's not the case. Sadly, Daniel Robinstein, who is a solid source in the MMA world, confirmed that this is a fake news and Jon Anik was not serious. Anyway, Belal Muhammad in his own interview says that he didn't follow a game plan that his coaches prepared for him against Jack Della Maddalena, which was to take Jack down, not to brawl with him. He promises to continue improving and get his welterweight title back. And to do so, he wants Kamaru Usman next in October, Abu Dhabi, if he gets past Buckley. New champ Jack Della Maddalena, on the other hand, thinks that his next opponent, Islam Makhachev, is just a better version of Belal Muhammad. Moreover, he says that Islam's striking will be easier to deal with than Belal Muhammad's. You believe him or not, his country fellow Robert Whittaker believes on him and says he can beat the pound-for-pound king. Anyway, let's move on towards the next rumor. Leon Edwards versus Michael Morales at UFC 320 in Mexico. Rumor says that this fight is in works and UFC has already made an initial approach to both parties. Michael Morales is currently in Ecuador, but he is continuing to train and he plans to return to Mexico to continue training camp for his next fight. We will see in the coming days that how true these rumors are. Now let's move on towards Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall updates. There is a petition launched to strip Jon Jones from his heavyweight belt, and shockingly, it's gaining serious momentum as more than 75,000 people have already spoken. Maybe it would be over 100k when you are watching this video. Anyway, Tom Aspinall in the latest video looks optimistic where he says he thinks he will get Jon Jones fight because Jon Jones is an unpredictable guy. If this fight happens, Tom's own country fellow Paddy Pimblett doesn't believe on him as he says he wouldn't pick against Jon Jones. Anyway, number 3 ranked heavyweight Alexander Volkov also voices his frustration over the heavyweight title situation and says if it wasn't for Jon Jones, he would have already fought for the title. He believes Jones is doing this because UFC is showing excessive loyalty to him. Jones' former rival Daniel Cormier also claims that Jon Jones should fight Tom Aspinall and give him the same chance he was given by him when he was young. Still, Matt Brown advises Tom Aspinall to avoid the same mistake Michael Chandler made while waiting for Conor fight. Brown says Tom should keep building his legacy instead of waiting for Jon Jones fight. Talking about Conor McGregor, Mike Perry in his recent interview says that he wants to settle his issues with Conor McGregor in the ring. But instead of talking about fight business, Conor revealed via Instagram that he is in serious talks to make an $8 billion bid to purchase OnlyFans. And related to Conor news, Nate Diaz said in his interview that he was meant to have Conor McGregor's role in Roadhouse movie until he found out Jake Gyllenhaal was the main character and not him. Just Nate Diaz thinks. Anyway, he also says that he wants to return to the UFC as he has unfinished business with Conor McGregor, and he also wants a BMF title fight with either Ilia Topuria or Max Holloway in his UFC return. Now talking about Ilia Topuria, his longtime coach says in his interview that he holds no ill will towards his former fighter after Topuria decides to part ways with him. Topuria is looking sharp in his new training footage, and this is how Charles Oliveira fans predicting how he will win against Ilia Topuria. In case you don't know, Charles Oliveira opens as the biggest underdog of his career since 2013 when he fought Frankie Edgar at UFC 162 at featherweight. He has since closed as an underdog in 11 fights, going 6-5 in those bouts. Anyway, Arman Sarukian also shared his initial reaction to the announcement of Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira for the vacant lightweight title fight.
You alright? You pissed? You just want to fight, huh?
I don't want to even train, done.
Now, if we talk about upcoming pay-per-view title fight, Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili. O'Malley is currently training with flyweight goat Demetrius Johnson and second only to middleweight goat Israel Adesanya ahead of his rematch with Merab at UFC 316. His coach believes O'Malley had won his first fight against Merab if he had not lose. What the fuck? Whatever. Merab is also confident, or we should say overconfident this time, as he already plans to return in Mexico at UFC 320 after beating O'Malley and then defend his belt for the fourth time at the end of the year. About his next opponent, his coach says that most deserving next contenders are Petr Yan and Corey Sandhagen, so one of them may get the next title shot. Anyway, Merab Dvalishvili injures his toe just 2 weeks out from the O'Malley rematch.
I'm gonna cut it off.
Still, his coach isn't worried about his toe injury and says that's nothing compared to some of the things they've had going into a lot of other fights. The co-headliner of the card, bantamweight champion Juliana Pena, also had an interview where she said she isn't bothered by odds that have her as an underdog against Kayla Harrison and is looking forward to ruining people's day on June 7th. Now let's talk about new official fight announcements, and let's start from this weekend's card. Seok Yanko and Oban Elliott both are out of their respective fights against Billy Goff and Ramiz Brahimaj due to visa issues. So now Billy Goff and Ramiz Brahimaj will be facing each other this weekend at UFC Vegas 107. Both fighters who pulled out, Oban Elliott and Seok Yanko, are booked against each other for June 21st UFC Baku card in Azerbaijan. Next, there is a middleweight bout added on UFC Nashville card on July 12th, headlined by Lewis vs. Teixeira. Middleweight prospect Atiba Guiter returns after his successful debut win via knockout earlier this year, and he takes on Robert Valentin, who is currently 0-2 in the promotion and will fight for his first UFC win. Then there is a lightweight bout added on UFC 317 card. Terence McKinney will return to get his second straight win against Vyacheslav Borchev, who is currently on a one-fight losing streak. Next is also a lightweight bout but not currently official. Drew Dober will return at UFC Shanghai August 23rd card, where he will try to break his 3-fight skid against China's own and road to UFC 2024 winner Rong Yu. Then Danny Gay announced that he has started his 20th fight camp, which means his fight news is also coming soon. Tim Elliott, who is rumored to fight Kai Asakura at UFC 319, suffered a cut but then confirms that he will be fighting at UFC 319 no matter what. Then in some random updates, Joe Rogan doesn't want to see the fat heavyweights anymore, and he wants heavyweights to get back on PEDs just like Alistair Overeem. Alex Pereira and Abus Magomedov will be doing a meet and greet in Germany May 28th, and Robert Whittaker says he would do power slap for 100k.
100%.
100%?
100%. 100k a slap. Brother, 100 grand, dude.
For 100 grand a hit.
I might get hit by a car for 100 grand.
And that's all in this video. Now you are again completely up to date with the fight world. If you want to stay updated, stay on this channel. Do like the video, share your thoughts in the comment section, as this is the motivation, and then do whatever you want.